management of your storage system. So on the right hand side, we can see all of our faces pop in. So if we click any single one of them, they automatically pop in. He clearly named himself on this one. You can see it gives you a general age, a gender, and an emotion. And then if the person is enrolled, it will give them a name. This can be searchable in terms of just looking through faces on the right hand side, or if you actually need to search for a specific person. So for instance, I know we had Oscar at the show with us, who's from our team. We can now see all the times Oscar appeared, and it will automatically brings up. I'm sure he's not happy with that age, but he'll deal with it. And then we can now see every time that Oscar was on, and you can see how fast and accessible this footage is. And we can search by date and time. We can also search by emotion or gender if we don't know. So for instance, if someone said there was a female, I don't know, she was exhibiting happiness, now we can see all the females that exhibited happiness. And they will all pop up, and then when we see the one we want, so you can see it also can pick up eyeglasses there. So you can see it says eyeglasses true. We can even search on a specific zone of the screen. So that's how detailed this this integration goes. So if I want to just see any time a female came on this side of the screen that exhibited happiness, then we now have that right there. So you can see how detailed we can get. It all appears on the timeline as well if you're looking for, like I said, a specific date or time. So you can see here we had some zones where there was that event occur. And then we can obviously pull up our thumbnails if we want to see more, and try and kind of get down to that level a bit quicker. In terms of the bi-directional communication, one of the huge advantages with our system without having to leave or go to a different screen. So for some of you know, we have what we try to do is a single UI. We don't like to have to move away from the monitoring and kind of investigation screen to do things. So if this woman was, I don't know, caught stealing something, so therefore we want to know next time she comes back onto that stand, I can simply right click, hit create a person, and then I can add, for instance, the name, and this will go back to the Vision Labs database, enroll that person inside of the Vision Labs database. We can then set an alert that say we called her Thief 101. We can now set an alert that when Thief 101 comes back and is seen on one of our cameras on our booth, automatically notify me, launch a screen. We can do, push notifications now in 4.1. We'll do a bit of what's in 4.1 a little bit later. So really powerful in terms of not having to ever leave our software to set up all these alerts and notifications, but still having the full power of the Vision Labs system in the back end. So the way that works is they actually develop a plugin that sits inside of our NX Witness server that then does all the facial recognition or facial detection, and then sends the face to their Vision Lab server for the actual recognition, which makes it a lot more lightweight, faster, and easier to use. So this is a good example of our facial recognition integration with Vision Labs. There's a few other companies we do facial recognition integrations with. It really depends on what you're looking for. We have some companies that will do, hair color, eye color. So if someone's telling you a description, you can search back based on what the actual person looked like in more detail. So I'm going to jump to another system. This one's a remote system in Spain, courtesy of our partners, Neural Labs. These guys are working on some really good LPR solutions. And one of the things I like is how well they classify objects. So this is obviously standard for LPR, as a lot of our companies can do LPR, not to the level that these guys and accuracy of these guys, I have to say. But one of the main things I like about this is we can search based on classification. So if I want to see an Audi, I can type in Audi and I can click, and we can now grab an Audi pretty quickly. So we can see that the Audi went past there. Getting some lag from the zoom, I think. But we can search based on color as well. So if we want to see any time there's a red car, we'll now see all the times that there was a red car pop up in the right hand side here. So pretty powerful in terms of if someone's seen a specific car but not seen the license plate, we can say red Kia, for instance, and then we can see there's 3 examples of a time a red Kia went by. So this this integration really allows someone to get a lot more in script with their investigation of the car. So there's our red Kia that came by. We can even search for things like, for instance, classifications in terms of van. We can see every time a van went by. So now we've got our vans. We can do Volkswagen van. We can search plates, obviously, as well, if you know the exact plate you're looking for. So this one's 456. So if I type in 456, we now have the that specific car come up. Heavy vehicles. So we can bring in our trucks and kind of things like that. Obviously, bicycles, motorbikes, everything's all done via classification. Really nice and quick and easy, simple. And considering this is remotely streaming from Spain to the UK right now, and then going out to you guys on this webinar, you can see how fast we can actually deliver that searching. Like I said, the smoothness of their system is really impressive to us. And the classification seems to work extremely well. We can search pretty much anything, down to color, make, and sometimes model. We can also bring in a full bookmark log, so you can see here what's been tagged on the right hand side. So you got the plate as the name, the camera appears on, the time, and then we can see, for instance, you got black car, Seat, Spain. We've got Ford black car, Spain. So you can see how it brings in all these classifications and how this is all searchable inside of our system. So really powerful bookmark integration there. We can also see it on the timeline as we can with the others. So the blue zones is where it occurred on the time zone, or on the timeline, which is a bit more visually perceptive if you're looking for a specific date and time rather than just looking at the thumbnails on the right hand side. You just need to see when a heavy truck came between this hour and this hour. Then we can grab the timeline, for instance, and now we can say at 2 p.m. 2:20 there was two heavy vehicles that went past, and we can see all the tags inside of that as well, just to jump through it in a more text-based way. So again, this is with our partners Neural Labs, based over in Barcelona. Really good guys. So if you've got any solutions that require that, it's worth reaching out to them, or reach out to us and we can put you in contact with them. So for a third one, still in development, we have one with our company Centurion. So Centurion, they've focused on object classification. This is still in the works, so it's a little buggy, but it's a really good solution for basically just detecting anything that's in a frame. The advantage there is it picks up if there's mobile phones, if there's laptops, if there's umbrellas, if there's colors, for any of the kind of things that you would be searching for. So if someone said, oh yeah, there was a guy with a black backpack, we can search black backpack. Although it does appear that I'm struggling to get connected at the moment with my internet. These guys are in Singapore, so it's there we go. So it's a little bit further away to try and get our connection to. So in the object search on the right hand side here, you can see we've got a backpack. So if we click here, you can see it's picked up that there's a backpack at the back of the room here. If we hover over the frame, you can actually see it draws the blue box over the time the backpack was there. It doesn't do it on the main screen at the moment. Whether they're going to implement that or not, they're still deciding, mainly because if they did, there would be a very messy screen because it would be picking up backpacks, mobiles, chairs, laptops, etc. So the idea is that it breaks it all out into the thumbnails, and then we can play back based on when you see those events occurring. You can see exactly where in the frame that item was based on the thumbnail. So we can break that down. We can go to mobile phones. So you can see here it's picked up a laptop in the background. Having a few streaming issues to Singapore at the moment, but you can still see all the breakdown on the right hand side. So this is a pretty powerful tool for basically just general monitoring of any solution. It means that searching for items is a lot faster. People spend a lot of time searching for things, especially security guards or admin people. And if you can say, I'm just looking for someone that was on a mobile phone that had a backpack, and it automatically takes you to that zone, then it really gives you a lot more powerful search tool to basically find things and identify things quickly. Obviously, you can also set this up for alarms. So, for instance, if a lot of high-end buildings, they don't like you to have umbrellas inside. So you could have it where if there's an umbrella seen inside, it automatically sets up an alarm for the security guard to go and tell them to take away their umbrella. If there's no cell phones, for instance, in courtrooms, no cell phones are allowed. So you can have an alert based where if there's a cell phone detected inside of the courtroom, it automatically removes or sends an alert and shows you which person had a cell phone on them. If there's no bags allowed inside of museums, some museums in Australia don't allow bags. You can it would automatically detect that someone's managed to get in with a backpack on and notify someone. So lots of different uses, not just for searching, but also for notification based on what's allowed in certain areas and stuff like that. So a pretty powerful tool. As I said, the internet's a bit choppy with them at the moment, but you can see on the right hand side here where we're bringing up laptops, we're bringing up backpacks, mainly laptops and backpacks in that room, mainly because no one's there, time zone difference. But like I said, it can do mobile phones, it can do umbrellas, it can do cups. It's pretty detailed in the items that it can pick up. And these guys are working on improving their meta integration, so it's even easier to search and select colors and things like that as well. So that's kind of three of the main ones I was going to show you to kind of give you an idea of how we're working with a meta. Like I said, we're working daily to try and get as many partners as possible in as many different kind of verticals as possible. I was actually talking this morning before this presentation with a partner company of ours that are working on a COVID-19 AI that basically looks at people wearing face masks, make sure people are social distancing, and potentially do more accurate thermal reading based off of thermal cameras using AI to track temperature changing. So we're really working on trying to make sure that this solution can basically fit any kind of system out there. So if someone's got this crazy and wonderful idea of what they want to get done or achieve, using our different frameworks and our different partners, we should pretty much be able to achieve any solution, especially using either the Meta SDK or the API tools. It's extremely flexible in basically just, like I said, meeting any